What's up guys, and welcome back once again to Chris Aquariums. In today's episode we're going to be doing something that I'm quite excited about because we've been wanting to add fish into this marine tank for quite a while, but since we had COVID and since we had the ban in Hawaii, there's been a lot of delay in getting fish around, and there's a particular one that we've been wanting to get for quite a while, which is the Banggai Cardinal. So today we're going to try our luck. We're going to go out and see if we can find one so that we can bring it home and put it into this tank. It's quite a cool fish. It looks great. People love to have it in the tank just for aesthetic reasons, but it's also very docile. It's not aggressive, and it's going to fit in well with the rest of the fish that we have in the tank and the corals, and it doesn't nip on any of the snails, invertebrates or polyps from the corals, so it should be safe to go in. So without further ado, let's get going and see if we can find a cardinal fish for our 30-gallon reef tank aquarium. Let's go. Okay, so we are on the way right now to pick up the Banggai Cardinal, which is incredibly exciting because for probably around 3 years now, even before COVID, I've been wanting to get this fish, but for some reason or another, either COVID or the new ban on Hawaii, we haven't been able to find it. So I've been into the pet store week after week hoping they would have, and they haven't. But now I have messaged my group of people and I found a place that's got one. So it's a little bit out the way. We're driving for about half an hour, but hopefully if no one else has picked it up before then, we should be able to get it and bring it back into the tank. So let's go check it out. So although there were 3 in the store, literally all 3 of them were bought out minutes before we got there. So I had to ask around once again, take another half-hour trip, but we found a store that had them. Okay, so we've made it back home, and we actually had to try a different place because the 3 Banggai Cardinals that they had were sold out literally 30 minutes before we got there. But we were able to find another place, and now we are back and we've got the Banggai Cardinal in the bag. So that means first thing we need to do is start with the acclimation process. So let's get going. So there's a couple of things that we're going to be doing here. The first of which you can see is putting the bag in the water, and that's just going to get the temperature of the tank water relatively the same to the temperature of the water in the bag, but it also serves a couple other purposes. The first is that now this Banggai Cardinal is able to see the tank, see the environment, and kind of get used to where he's going to be in. The second is it also gives a chance for the other fish to get used to him. You can see in the background there the clownfish and the firefish goby. It's just a way for them to easily explore each other before he goes into the tank. So there's a couple of things we're going to be doing. Right while this bag is busy acclimating in the tank, we're also going to be mixing salt water from the tank with the salt water in the bag, just so that the parameters start evening out, getting him used to the water conditions. We're also going to, in a second, just feed the tank. We're going to put a cube of Mysis shrimp in so that all the fish are, the word they use is satiated, that they're not looking for any trouble, they're content, they're happy, and that'll just make it a bit of a smoother transition. So let's feed the tank while this bag and this fish is acclimating. So this is what we're going to be feeding him, right along with the rest of the other fish. Doesn't need anything different. So just a mixture of a typical marine pellet and some brine shrimp, and they're going to love that. The same thing as the rest of the fish, so nothing different, which makes it pretty easy, and this is the stuff that all of them eat, which they enjoy. Okay, so we've been acclimating the bag for about 30 minutes, and what we've done is gotten the temperature of the water in the bag to the same temperature as what's in the tank. We've also been steadily adding water from the tank into the bag so that it gets used to the parameters and it's not a shock when it goes in. So we're about to put this guy into the tank, and there's two things that I'm looking for. The first is that I expect him to find somewhere to hide, somewhere that's dark underneath the rocks perhaps, just to get grips to his environment. And the second, which I'm looking for, is maybe a little bit of interest from other fish. Obviously it's something new into the tank that they haven't seen, but we'll see how it goes, and I expect him to find somewhere to hide and acclimate and get used to it before he starts coming out and we start seeing him a bit more. So with that said, let's start introducing the Banggai Cardinal into the tank. So while he's busy getting used to the tank, I think it's also a good time just to have some appreciation for how good this tank is looking recently. All of the corals are growing in so nicely and it's really filling up, and the colors are amazing. So you can see here everything is doing well. Our palithoas, our mushrooms, our kryptonite candy cane corals, the GSP is going crazy, as is the Kenya tree you can see over there. And the pulsing xenia I've had to trim back maybe 2 or 3 times because obviously it grows incredibly quickly. Hammer coral is starting to pop out new heads. You can see the gap over there. So where we started with 2, we've now got 4. The red bubble tip anemone has also split into 2 and is starting to grow back up to its normal size again. And this over here is a new coral. It's a green Kenya tree, still pretty young, but I'm sure it'll pick up in size as time goes on and fill out the top right hand side of the tank. So overall, for a tank that's about 1.5 years at the moment, somewhere around there, it's looking incredibly good. And I think with the new fish and the activity from the cleaner shrimp, the clownfish, the firefish, goby, this is going to be an amazing tank to have in our living room. And guys, that is it for today's episode on Chris Aquariums, introducing the Banggai Cardinalfish to our 30-litre Reef Aquarium. So far, he's doing exactly what we thought he would, getting used to the environment and getting used to the tank, but I think he'll fit in really well. So thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoy this kind of stuff, reef tanks or freshwater tropical aquariums and even ponds and goldfish, leave a like on the video and feel free to subscribe to see more as we go along. But until then, I'll see you guys next time on Chris Aquariums. Cheers.